clicky. Hello, this is Chips from Singletrack magazine, and I am here in our studio with what's known in the trade as a big box of XTR. This has literally just turned up, so I thought we'd do a live unboxing for you and see how it arrives, what comes in the boxes, what it all weighs. We've got the Park Tool Scales of Truth here, and yeah, we'll just kind of have a look at stuff because it's been a long time since the Groupset was launched. I think the story came out last June, and now it's May the following year. There are a couple of differences to the original launch Groupset, and part of that is the reason for the delay. Factory fire at Shimano's head office, which is where they make all the Dura-Ace and the XTR stuff. And I think there may have been some production problems with certainly the silence rear hub and possibly the chainset, because with our Groupset comes alternative versions of the rear hub and of the chainset. So we're going to look at those and see what you get. Ours obviously is a sort of pack it in the box, get it off to them kind of style. So we have, customers normally wouldn't expect to just see a bare brake lever. Let's start with this. We have here, this is a very shiny box you get with XTR, and it's a sort of metallic, distressed kind of Terminator from the future box. And we have here, this is the rear hub. The launch Groupset had a silence rear hub, which was a silent clutch hub that retracted when it freewheeled, so that you had no drag, and it was also very quiet. This you can hear is clicky. So it could be that Shimano decided that they couldn't actually produce the silent hub or whatever, but this isn't very loud at all. We'll turn the Scales of Truth on. So this is the micro spline. We have a matching cassette in there as well. This is the new spline design from Shimano. It's a lot smaller than the previous Shimano cassette body, which to be fair hadn't changed for 25 years since the days of 8-speed. So we'll allow them one improvement in the name of progress. 246 grams for a rear hub with lock ring. Cup and cone, as is Shimano's way, and these kind of stepped flanges, and so it doesn't roll away, obviously. The other non-stock thing we have, or non-Groupset thing, is the chainset. The original chainset, I've got all my prices here, was something like 440 quid. This is a like a non-Groupset chainset. It's just got, I'll get both of them out here. So the original XTR chainset was going to be 440 odd quid. This is 189. So it's obviously a replacement that's, maybe XT level, and won't have all of the fancy pants things of the XTR Groupset. And this is kind of, I guess, until Shimano works out how to make their XTR chainset or gets their factory back online to make it properly. Unlike the production one, this, if I go to close up here, so it's very subtle. There's only a Shimano logo there in sort of gloss on satin, so it's super subtle. Unlike the Shimano, the production XTR chainset, there's no replaceable chainring. This looks to be, oh, is it? No, sorry, it is locked in. I was going to say it doesn't seem to be. No, that's is that? Oh, okay. There we go. So it is a replaceable chainring. There's a very, very narrow little lock ring in there. Wide, narrow teeth, which Shimano has kind of Resisted to start with when the previous XTR came out. They had these big straight tool cut teeth and resisted the thick thin movement that's going on, but they've now gone for the thick thin. So this, as I said, is £189, which seems a reasonable bargain compared to the XTR one. We've got a little end cap, we have and the tool included in the box. This is all brakes, and this is kind of brakes and shifters. This is sort of how a manufacturer would get it at the factory. Because if you're fitting a brake to a bike, you don't know, or Shimano doesn't know how long the cable is and stuff, and you may have to wind it through the body of the bike. So they tend to arrive as kits. So this is a capped hose, and then we have here the XTR 4-pot brakes, which are the trail brakes. The pads kind of chunky, wide Shimano pads with fins, about 180 grams. So that's an XTR trail brake. By comparison, here is the single or the 2-pot version, the more racy setup, and they come with matching light and more chunky levers. I will find one of each. So this is an example. So the top is the trail lever and the bottom is the race lever. And I'll just look at the differences in that. Trail lever, 105 grams, race lever, 75 grams. So fair amount of difference here. With both there are differences. In general, things they share, it's obviously smaller and lighter and more sort of sculpted than previous XTR. There's a hinged clamp that attaches here. There is, when we find the shifters, there's a new iSpec version of mounting the shifters to the brake levers. And Shimano has moved the whole brake body inboard a bit compared to the clamp, because previously the clamp was sort of here, and now this lets you move the clamp further inboard, and then there's room for other bits and pieces on your handlebars. So we've got the trail brake here on this side and the race brake here. Big difference is this is a carbon lever on the race, and this is an alloy one. Both have little dimples on. You can see that the trail lever is much thicker, fatter, wider lever. Very pleasant grip on it, really nice, solid feeling thing. Also, there is you've got your tools-free reach adjust there, which will pull the lever in and out. Whereas the race one, you don't get at all. You've got a 2mm Allen key in there that will move the brake lever. It's not something you do that often, but arguably an enduro racer or whoever may want to dial their brakes in for a particular section. Maybe they've got arm pump and they want to pull their levers into the bar or whatever. So that does allow you to change it on the trail. This also gets the servo wave, which pulls the pistons into the disc quickly, and then it ramps the power up as you get sort of further through the lever travel. So those are the different levers there. Okay, XTR shifter with cable, 131 grams. This is your 12-speed shifter. It still has the double, broken now, the double downshift there. Very thin clamp and really nicely textured paddles here. This one here, if you can see that, that's a rubber insert here. It's a really nice ribbed rubber insert that is replaceable. You can poke it out and put a new one in if you wear it out, and perhaps they'll do extra super grippy versions in the future, I don't know. This has a textured plastic lever as well, which is really nice, like super grippy whether you're running bare hands or gloves. It does have the Shimano little screw there that lets you change the cable without having to take your shifter apart. No names mentioned, other people. So it's pretty easy to maintain. We have a couple of different setups here. So as I said, we've got 2 sets of brakes, and we've also got 2 sets of shifters. This is the clamped version of the shifter, and this is the iSpec version. So this will mate to your shifters, and the other one will let you run someone else's brake levers. Right, what else have we got? The cassette, I think, is going to be quite an interesting thing. Biggest box in the world, not actually a Chainset or whatever, it's the cassette. So again, really nice bit of packaging from Shimano, and there it is, the size of my face. We have the aluminium and the titanium and the steel sprockets. 10 smallest, 51 biggest. So I'd be interested to see how much this weighs. 374 grams. 374 grams. This here with our close-up cam. This is these are the steel sprockets. Where are my ratios? 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21, 24, 28, 33, 39, 45 and 51. So those are your four smaller sprockets that are separate steel sprockets. And then here you've got the riveted together titanium and alloy combo, the bigger sprockets. This is absolutely enormous. I'm going to dig out a disc brake rotor because those are interesting too, but also just for size. This is a 180mm rotor, 180mm rotor, so cassette. So yeah, it's a big beast. We'll come back to that one. So there we have it, our cassette. By comparison, we also, I think, have a 10-45 cassette. And this is also 12 speed, 10 to 45, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 45. And this is intended for more racy applications, enduro racing, cross-country racing, one by. There is also an 11 speed cassette, which is incredibly confusing, but it uses a 12 speed chain, 12 speed shifter, and a 12 speed derailleur. There is a switch on the shifter, which I can't find, to turn it to 11 speed, which then the idea is that there's a wider hub and you use that for racing where you need stronger wheel. Seems rather a lot of effort for the few people who are going to use it, but there you go. Right, this is our smaller cassette. I mustn't lose this. There's a little tiny plastic washer in there. It's there. It's almost invisible, and you have to put that on your cassette body before you put the cassette on, which I better not have lost the other one. We'll just get a comparison of the two sizes here. This is the 10-45 cassette. It's going to take a while to clear up. So here we have the two cassettes. 10-51, 10-45. Noticeably smaller. 368. So there's actually like 4 eyelashes difference in that. 374, 368. That's quite surprising. And we're not missing any sprockets. So these both basically weigh the same. You know, I'm not good at maths. Near enough the same. So you've just got the extra material of that wider cassette. The big sprocket on here is actually connected to the 11th sprocket, which is riveted onto the spider, whereas this one here, the 12-speed sprocket, is riveted onto the carrier. So I wonder if the carrier looks the same kind of size. So yeah, very, very little difference in weight between those two. That's quite surprising. So really, as a racer, you may as well have the bailout gear, unless you don't see don't be seen needing it. Freezer rotors. These are a sandwich of steel and aluminium. The idea is that the alloy vanes here, they get the heat out. They're said to reduce the operating temperature of the disc on long descents by drop it by 50 degrees centigrade, and the finned pads as well that we've seen add another, or reduce another 50 degrees. So overall the brakes should run 100 degrees cooler than conventional non-freezer rotors and finned brake pads. We have a chain device, which is, remember them, this is an XTR chain device. This is just the chain keeper that will bolt on. There are 3 different ones that attach. There's an ISCG mount, there's a bolt-on one for, remember, the front derailleur mounts. So if you still have one of those, you've got this little Shimano super light chain guide, just to keep your chain in place. 20, is that 1 or 7? 27 grams. There we go. I'm sure someone will want one. Down to the last few boxes. Again, we've got this lovely distressed looking XTR packaging. There is a real nice sense of occasion with Shimano boxes. And the glowing light as you open it up and reveal the XTR derailleur. It's a giant XTR derailleur. It actually feels incredibly light. We'll see what the scales of truth reckon, but it's huge. The derailleur cage is, there we go, it's enormous. Just like the length and the amount of, I guess, a super light metalwork, and is that carbon? Can't tell. 243 grams. Feels really, really light. Big long clutch lever, which is easy to get to. I think previously where they've tried to hide the clutch in between all the joins, it was really hard to get to, and this is just super easy. If you're changing a puncture in the field or whatever, won't take long. We've got a little visual reminder there for how to set it up with the 51. This is the derailleur for the 51 tooth. And there is also a smaller derailleur for the 45 tooth cassette. And if we get that one out, let's see, really not a huge amount of difference here. There is, you can see, if I get the close up on there, different geometry to the cages there, these bits. This one, again, you can see is for the 45 tooth, and this one for the 50. 237 grams, 243, again, 5 grams in it, or thereabouts. Same big clutch lever. Visually, it's very chunky looking, but they really don't weigh a great deal. We are nearing the end of our box, and this surprise bonus thing is a chain tool, because with 12-speed chains come 12-speed chain tools. So this is special 12-speed chain tool. It does all the way down to 9-speed. Instructions, box, and finally 12-speed chain. I won't get it out because it will be covered in grease to stop it going rusty. 12-speed HGS and a quick link, 116 links with Singletrack, which is their silky low friction coating, is sort of embedded into the chain surface. We'll weigh that. 116 links. I imagine it weighs the same as most other 12-speed chains. 278 grams. There we go. The whole vast amount of stuff. So we have nearly a bike's worth here. We're missing a front hub. We could do with a second chain set to go with our second shifters and things, and another chain. But yeah, we've got near enough everything to build up an XTR bike. Reckon you can find a use for this 51 tooth. Is it too big? Is it one tooth too far? Do you not use the 50 tooth on your SRAM Eagle, or is it just what everyone needs? I can see certainly this being pretty popular. Obviously, like predictably, as Shimano does things, we will inevitably see this trickle down through the other group sets as we go through the years. Whether everyone can wait, 3 years for more affordable 12-speed come into their bike shop, we'll see. But this certainly is very impressive looking. XTR has always been unapologetically expensive, top-end racers and super enthusiasts. It's really nice to see it all. The finish is lovely on all of it. It will be interesting also to see if we get the XTR version of these cranks rather than this sort of stand-in. But these look really good anyway. So, did we weigh this? I don't think we did. Let's weigh it. 592 grams without bottom bracket and without an end cap. So, there we go. Oh yeah, bottom bracket would be handy as well. There we go, that's XTR unboxing. I hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for other crazy unboxing things. It's going to be an interesting year, I reckon, for components, and we'll try and bring you the latest stories as soon as we get them. This has been Chips from Singletrack magazine. If you like it, then please subscribe, like this video, tell your friends, see what you actually get in the box, and we'll see you next time. So, it's Chips from Singletrack signing off.